to the whatever podcast. So your thoughts on Proverbs 21:19?
I like that we just jumped right into the Bible. That's awesome.
Yeah, there you go.
I would say that, yeah, you should aspire to marry the right person. Definitely.
Okay.
Without question, you should aspire to marry the right person, and part of that is making sure that when you're dating somebody of value, and that also when you're considering looking for someone of value, you also take a second to measure yourself and see if you are a person of value that's worthy of marrying, because I think people forget that part. That's almost the most important part.
Got it.
What's going on, everyone? It's Talks with Kenny here today, and we kind of want to be analyzing that. Candace Owens was on whatever. I watch these dating podcasts time to time because I want to be aware of what dating is like nowadays in 2023. As you guys may or may not know, I have 2 young sons, and I want to be in a position where I can accurately and clearly tell them and inform them actually how dating will be in the time of when they begin dating. So I think I have a vested interest as a father, as a husband, to kind of know what the hell's going on in 2023. And if you're curious about the Bible verse, I found it here. I'm giving my own personal commentary. I have religious sentiments, right? I may not identify as a Christian. I consider myself more agnostic. I consider myself more of a Stoic than a Christian, but my mind may change further down the road. But here's the verse that they were quoting that she agreed with was, "It's better to live in a desert than with a quarrelsome and nagging wife," right? And in our society today, I in my live stream on Friday, I made a comment about how shame needs to come back a little bit. Because shame is an incentive. Show me the incentive, I'll show you the outcome. If you do not shame certain behavior, by default, you're saying, oh, that's permissible. You're allowed to act this way, right? And I think this is what has led kind of to the decay of our culture. I want to drop another verse that Stoicism and the Bible and Christians agree with is, whoever pursues righteousness and love finds life, prosperity, and honor. And all I'm asking you is look at it from an empirical standpoint. And if I got data to back this up, traditional marriage has a higher success rate than modern marriages. What is the modern marriage? Whatever these liberal women define it to be. 50-50. We split the bill. We do equal chores in the house. All right. Our kids go to daycare. What's a traditional marriage? I live one. I can define it. I could just use myself as an example. Sole breadwinner, I am. Wife's a stay-at-home mom. Kids are going to be homeschooled, at least for sure, elementary, right? And I spend all day with my kids, 24 hours, 7 days a week. I'm here with my kids because I'm in a fortunate position where I work from home, because at the end of the day, my family is where I derive meaning from. The reason I work is, to me, my job is a means to an end to provide for my family. This is how most men view their career. But a lot of women don't understand this. Women think, oh my God, they get to do this. They get to go out. And no, going to work is stressful. And a lot of these single women, and I remember I did another video about inconvenient truths about feminism.
Whoever fought for women to get jobs. Why? Why did we do that? I am so tired. I want to just put my feet up. Oh my God.
6 million views.
The inconvenient truth about feminism is it led women to a path where most of them will be unhappy. Only 20% of women will be happy pursuing a career without any children, husband, right? Single, childless, and with a career is the designator of the most unhappiest woman in America. And by 2040, I think 40% of women will be single and childless. That's a lot of women that's going to be on mental health, that'll have mental health issues and will be unsatisfied with their work life. But hey, I digress. Let's get into this next clip where they're going to kind of react to the clip that's been going viral that I mentioned before.
And single, and I don't have kids yet. Here's what your Saturday morning looks like when you're single at 29 and you don't have a kid running around the house. I didn't rise from my bed until 10:15. Every time I thought, I should probably get up and do something. I thought, why? Nobody's making me. I'm not missing out on anything. I went to Beyonce last night and I didn't get home until 1 a.m. and I danced and drank my little heart out, and I didn't pay a babysitter to watch my kids as I did that. And I woke up a tad hungover this morning, which is probably why I was in bed for so long. And I was just scrolling on my phone and I saw a picture of Shakshuka and I thought, you know what sounds really good? maybe I'm gonna learn how to make shakshuka today because I have no plans and I don't have kids and I don't have a husband and I don't have errands to run. I can go to the grocery store and learn how to make shakshuka. So that's on my agenda today. Also on my agenda, probably a rewatch of some Real Housewives of New York. I'm also doing a rewatch of Normal People on Hulu, which is really spicy and I highly recommend. Weirdly, I'm into this documentary on Netflix about blue zone countries, so I've got a pretty stacked day. Anyway, I say all this to say, whenever I'm hard on myself about why I'm not married and I don't have kids and I should be further along at 29, almost 30, I wouldn't want to do anything else this Saturday. And I know that you can do all these things when you have kids and you're married, and I understand, but the effortlessness and ease of my life, just kind of focusing on myself and the shakshuka I want to make or the Beyonce concert I want to go to really pays off when I'm hard on myself for not being where society tells me I should be in life.
I thought it was gonna be really her going shot.
So, why do you guys think that this video went kind of crazy viral, and what's the analysis here?
I mean, it went crazy viral because Matt Walsh tweeted it. Let's be real. That would have just gone into the ethosphere on TikTok, and no one would have talked about it had he not picked that up and tweeted it.
Well, I don't know if Matt Walsh was the first
He
person.
was.
Well, oh, was
Yeah.
he really? Okay,
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
But I guess what's interesting to me is that this woman has actually even said, she gives herself a hard time. She wants to be married. She wants to have children. So I don't think that it's right to demonize her and act like she's going to have a depressing life when she just hasn't found the right person, because clearly she wants those things and she's trying to make herself feel better and other people in that community feel better about not being that far along. Because like you said, you wanted people to settle down with the right person, take their time, figure out if that's the right person. So just because she's 29, you're saying that it's too late for her and she's going to be doing Xanax and drinking wine at night because she hasn't reached that point
I
yet?
didn't say that. That's not what my tweet said. That's not what my
You
tweet
said the future.
Yeah,
Right.
Because she's obviously a narcissist, right? So.
Yeah, I agree with Candace here. I really do think she's a narcissist. And I also think that a lot of women are becoming more self-centered because of social media. If you look at social media, look, you can't shoot me, but I'm just pointing out the things that I have observed. And what I observe, if you look at the stats, if you look at who clocks more time on TikTok, men or women, disproportionately it's women. Women spend a lot more time on social media than men do, right? And this is why the inverse effect is also happening to women, where women are suffering from depression. They're having mental health issues as in regards to comparing themselves to other women. If they're not as sexy as the other woman on Instagram or TikTok, if they don't get as much likes and validation from TikTok and social media has become this almost Pandora's box for women, because at the end of the day, it's within women's nature to seek kind of validation from society, from each other, from men. So you don't think this is going to hurt a woman mental health negatively when she posts one video, when she posts one photo and it only gets 5 likes. And if she takes off some clothes, it gets 50 likes. What's going to happen? It's like a dope fiend. She starts chasing that validation. And going back to the points of what people saying that she wasn't really trying to take shots at people who had kids, she's insinuating that life is better without kids. At least she didn't make it seem like it was all for now. And in the further of the video, some of the women also saw this. And one thing I noticed about growing up with women, I have an older sister and 4 female cousins, is that they like to take shots at each other very passively and very indirectly, where they always have this position of plausible deniability. And that's what I seem to notice. Men seem to be more direct with their insults and their commentary, and women try to be more indirect. Like, oh, my life is so much better. I didn't have to pay a babysitter today, right? And so I could just go, right? Trying to insinuate like, hey, my life is better because I don't have kids. And to me, this is cope. I think she's coping in a way, right? But yeah, I digress. I think our culture, our current dating market is a culture of selfishness at this point, right? Women ain't dateable. Modern women ain't marriage material. Then you get modern women saying men ain't traditional. So why should we be traditional if men can't provide for me? Can't be I can't be a stay-at-home mom. So I'd rather have this modern lifestyle. And to me, as a conservative, I look at things from a societal, cultural, and community standpoint. And I'm like, yo, if men and women are warring like this, we ain't gonna have a cohesive community. And I think the only way you can have that cohesive community is if both sides share a similar values and similar expectations. Men should be allowed to have standards. Women should be allowed to have standards. The minute one decides the other can't have a standard, that's where you're wrong. And most of the time I see it with women. Women will come out here. Men say, hey, I don't want to date a woman with a high body count. What happens? He gets shamed. For what? Men don't come out and shame you because you want a man over 6 feet and you're like 5'2". No man's gonna come out here and shame women for having that standard. And this is the double standard that I'm talking about, and that a lot of the red pill community likes to point out. And we'll get some of the panel's reaction to Candace Owens' commentary about her being a narcissist. And I found that this to be one of the more interesting parts about Candace's time at the panel. Let's take a look.
Because she's obviously a narcissist, right? So like,
Why
the
would you
issue
think
first
that?
and foremost, let's not pretend this is one video that she made. It's her brand on TikTok. It's her brand on social media. She talks about these are this community known as dinks. We're happy and we're childless. She talks about how great it is to be childless. So she has developed she's a social media influencer that talks about childlessness. So let's not pretend this is one woman making a video who just said, oh, I had a great Saturday. There's absolutely no reason, if you had a great Saturday at 29 years old and you learned to make shashuka and you slept in at 11 until 11:15 or 10:15, whatever she said, that you need to bring up children. There's absolutely no reason. You just say, here's what I did today. I laid in all day. I did this. I did that. The fact that she has to correlate it to saying, and this somehow makes me better than people that have children, is the problem.
She doesn't say that.
She literally goes on to talk about not having children. It wasn't necessary in this video. So it's not like people are just shaming single women on the internet. You could go on right now and talk about what you've done all day, and there's no reason to bring up, but having a child or not. She's actually doing the shaming, and now we're trying to pretend that she's the victim. She's not. She has a brand where she talks about childlessness and she talks about leaning into selfishness and all the things that are amazing about not having children. Again, this is not the first video that she's produced. So the reason why, and if you're a man watching this, don't marry this woman. She's basically telling you she's selfish. She's telling you she's a narcissist. Everything she says is about me, 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 me. Even if you're single, you don't have to make your whole day revolve around you. You don't have to. You can get up in the morning, you can go help others, you can do other things. You can say, now that I have free time as a single woman, I can go dedicate time to the church. I can sing, I can do this, I can help people find God. That particular woman that you just looked at is a selfish bitch, and men should not marry her. That's my personal opinion.
What an opinion it is. Hey, and I kind of agree with it. I'm very, I don't know, I feel by nature I'm very stern. I could be very opinionated at times, and I agree with this take. I think she is selfish. I think selfish people cannot make a marriage work. If you're a selfish person, you're very self-centered, right? And a lot of these feminist type that be on TikTok, and this is why I don't go on TikTok. A lot of it is just women looking for their ego to be stroked. And that's a sign of someone who's very self-centered. And self-centered people cannot make a marriage work. It takes teamwork, right? This is a team. You have to play your role and I have to play mine, right? If you go on a basketball team, you can't come in and demand to be the shooter. No, you're not even the best person. But you're going to say, no, I should be the leading scorer in our team. When someone has already been proven to be the leading scorer, you can't just come in and dictate the terms of the team because you think, oh, I'm hotshot over here. And that's how a relationship works as well. You have to know what works, right? And I think the reason why traditional marriage tend to work better than modern marriage is that traditional marriage follows time-tested ideas. Men work, women stay home with the kids, or dedicate most of their time towards the family, while men dedicate most of their time towards work, because the work is the means to an end, to allow the family to be further cohesive. And I think this is also why our culture is decaying too, is because we have allowed the public school to somewhat raise our kids for us. And we out here chasing our careers, we out here making money, and then we only see our kids on average 30 minutes out of the day. 30 minutes of time with your kids that the average American family spend with their children is 30 minutes. I was like, no, I don't want that kind of lifestyle for my kids, right? And this is a concept of lifestyle design. How you want to design your lifestyle? For what goal? What is the purpose? And this is why I asked, it seemed like there's two paths that the dating scene is going towards. And right now it's going down towards hedonism, vice, instead of searching for virtue. And this is what this whole video is about. Oh, look at me enjoying myself. Look at me chasing my pleasure for my own gain. I'm not being of service to others. I'm not contributing to my community, my society. That's where Candace was going with the church example. It don't have to necessarily be church. Volunteer. Make yourself useful to your community. Participate in your community. No, it's all about me. I'm going to Beyonce and enjoy myself. I'm going to sing my heart away. Everything's about me. And this is millennial culture. I'm a millennial and I don't think like that. That's part of why I don't drive well with millennials. I tend to identify more with the older crowd. Like I tend to get along with older people more because we live in a selfish, me-driven culture, and red pills is a response to that. And I think feminism kind of opened the way for women to be like this. And now men are reacting. Men are saying they're not going to get married. There's men out there that said they will never marry a feminist. You can't blame them, and you can't even shame. And I wouldn't even tolerate women shaming men for doing that, because look at what you show. All a man has to do is go on TikTok and show, I'm supposed to marry this. But hey, I digress. Let's continue with the kind of the reactions, because some women out here on the panel are trying to say I didn't take it that way, but to me, women seem to bully very passive aggressively. They like to live on plausible deniability, and I'm gonna keep pointing this out because I raised around women. I know how they bully. But hey, I digress. Let's look into this next clip.
Relatable in our day and age. You know what I mean? Like 22, 23 years old. I don't know how old this girl is, but like 29 or whatever. But in my day and age, like it's relatable to be like, haha, we don't got kids. Like, quote unquote, 22. Fuck them kids. You know what I mean? It's like,
I'm glad you're admitting that.
It's like that.
I'm glad
like,
you're admitting that.
It's like a term that people use, you know what I mean? And it's like, it's just relatable.
It's
like, that's why it gets so many views, to answer your question.
I think that's really honest of you to say that.
You wanted to come in, go
Fuck
ahead.
them kids.
Yeah.
No, I said
I'm
quote
just
unquote.
gonna,
That's what they say.
Yeah, but
what
you're
I mean?
admitting that so that she's starting the fight. You're looking
And
at
it's a
people that are
trend,
moms
that are
Like,
trending.
I don't when
It's a
when I'm
trend.
with my kids.
Right.
I don't post videos and say F them single chicks with no kids.
Right.
She did the baiting, okay, and we responded. That's it.
I
Right,
don't know.
like it's a
The
new
first
trend
thing I was
type
going
of
to
thing.
say.
Hold on, let's just let Essie go ahead.
The first thing I noticed about the video was that she was putting people with kids down. It'd be fine if she was talking about how her day was and wording it differently, but it seemed like almost immediately from the beginning of the video that she was belittling people with kids, which I think is like the part of the problem.
Pixie, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I think this is like up to interpretation, because personally when I saw that video, my interpretation was like, oh, she's putting herself down because she's saying like, oh, when I tell myself, why am I not further along in life? It's okay because at least I'm enjoying these things. So I could definitely see, like, depending on how you're looking at it, or if you have further context, why you would think she's putting kids down. But when I saw that video by itself, I was thinking, like, people are kind of going a little bit overboard in the sense that she says she's being harsh on herself. She doesn't have children, and these are just the things that have made her happy today. And I don't think that by itself, without additional context, is inherently wrong.
It's so fascinating when you watch a bunch of women argue and you start seeing, like, I don't know, maybe it's because I've been with my wife for I think 7 years. I met my wife in college, and I start noticing that like women is like they bait each other into reacting, like who could react first. Whoever reacts worse loses. That's the game. That's the game that women play, because the other one can play victim. It's like, oh my God, why are you acting this way? I'm like, wow, like they're baiting each other to make it a response. And that's where Candace was kind of going with it. And I kind of agree. She was insinuating that her life is better because she don't have kids. She was insinuating that if she did have kids, she wouldn't be able to make shakshuka or go to Beyonce, or it would have been more expensive for her to go to Beyonce. All right. End of the day, life is about trade-offs. I don't believe none of the, like, when women complain they're 55 and they're crying on TikTok talking about, I made a mistake. The society has told me that get a career, get a job, get a degree. I did all that and I'm still not happy. I don't cry. I'm like, oh, poor baby. Because I believe if you're an adult, you're not a victim. You're a volunteer. But I digress. Let's continue with the next clip as we're going to soon wrap all this up. Let's take a look.
Marriage and kids, but I really honestly just didn't get that impression from that video alone that she was in any way.
So when she was talking about, I got to go to a Beyonce concert and I didn't have to pay for a babysitter. You don't think that was belittling?
It's so,
yeah,
she was
that was
obviously
selfish of her to say that.
Yeah, she's being selfish,
and she
was being rude. And if it was flipped and a conservative woman with children said the opposite of that to single women,
it would blow up.
It would blow up, and they would say, "How rude of you! Why are you even mentioning single women? Just say you had a good day with your kids. That's fine. If I said I woke up, went to the park with my kids, did that, okay." Chill. Why are you correlating it to children? It doesn't make any sense. So, and like I said, she's produced more content, so that the context is important. She's leaned into this as a brand and as an influencer. So, then you're going to expect the people that influence people to have families to respond. Matt Walsh being among them, me being among them, and I do would like to again warn men against marrying a woman who holds those sorts of perspectives, because she's ultimately just selfish. Like I said, you can have a day and you can be single. You don't have to dedicate your whole day to me, narcissist, me, here's what I did for me. It's just not a woman that you want to marry, full stop. For leaving the kids totally separate from it. I wouldn't marry a woman like that.
Go ahead.
Oh my God, bro. Hey, Candace hit it out of the park. I think this is, I guess if you guys seen the theme here, and what I'm trying to portray here is that if you're a selfish, self-centered person, you can't work within a team. And I think one of the ways you can kind of suss this out of people is to disagree with them on something, right? You know someone by their character when you disagree with them. I think that's one of my unsolicited dated advice that I'll give to men and women alike, right? See how someone reacts when you disagree with them, right? Don't even have a reason. Just be like, I disagree with that. And then you give some maybe convoluted, whatever, and you see how they react to you, right? And this is what I do with liberals all the time. Trump's not that bad, and see how they react. Right? If they react like Bill Maher when you talk about Trump, then you know, oh, this person, oh, so this is how you would treat me if you didn't like me. Oh, this is how you would treat me if you didn't get any value from being associated with me. That judges what? Their character. Because I think this is what our dating has lost a lot now. Our the dating scene seems to be very heavily influenced by materialism, right? If a dude, you may not find a dude attractive, but if he has money, girls gonna date him. Right? We live in a dating culture where women are more likely, if you ask an 18-year-old woman, hey, would you rather have? A long-term boyfriend that will eventually become your husband, or a sugar daddy for 10 years? It's debatable. In my head, I don't know what you'll pick. If you are in the red pill space, you'll say she's definitely picking the sugar daddy because she's young. She ain't looking for a long-term relationship, right? And that's the culture that we kind of pushed today, right? And one of my quotes and one of the words of wisdom that I live by, because I think this is one of the reasons why I've been so successful in my life, even though I'm so young. I'm 27, put together. The reason why is because I was taught by my dad. I forgot who taught me this, but they say the youth is wasted on the young. That means, hey, when you're young, you have all the time in the world. How you use that time will determine your outcomes in the future. And imagine this. I use all my time to find a career that I like, that pays me a lot of money, and that allows me to live the lifestyle that I want, which is to stay at home, right? Work remotely and enjoy my kids 24/7, 7 days a week with my stay-at-home wife. We're always together. Me and my kids are always together, right? I figured that out at a young age because that's where I was spending my time trying to figure out. And all I'm saying is, women, your best chance of finding a long-term boyfriend is in college or, when you're younger, because obviously you have more suitors. You have more people approaching you. So you have more ability to pick and shift through the rebel, right? But use that time effectively, because just like driving a car, if you waste gas, you'll be stuck. And that's what's going to happen to a lot of women in our culture if they continue going down this path. But hey, that's just my thoughts. That's just my perspective. What are yours? Let me know in the comment section. I appreciate you guys for watching to the end of the video. I really do appreciate it. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I really do appreciate it. And I'll catch you guys on the next video. Peace.